An American icon, the enduring allure of John F. Kennedy. The name alone evokes a whirlwind of emotions and images. He remains an American enigma, a symbol of hope, a tragic figure, a leader forever frozen in time. His presidency, tragically cut short, continues to fascinate us. We remember his charisma, his eloquence, and his youthful energy that promised a new era for the nation. But behind the iconic photographs and inspiring speeches lies a more complex story. To truly understand JFK, we must delve deeper. We must explore the man behind the myth. This essay seeks to shed light on the lesser-known aspects of his life and legacy. We will journey through his privileged upbringing, his wartime heroism, and his meteoric rise to power. We will examine his triumphs and his failures, his public persona, and his private battles. Join us as we unravel the intricate tapestry of John F. Kennedy, a man who embodied both the promise and the fragility of the American dream. The making of a leader, privilege, and expectations in the Kennedy clan. John Fitzgerald Kennedy was born into a world of wealth and privilege. His father, Joseph P. Kennedy Sr., was a powerful businessman and aspiring politician. Rose Kennedy, his mother, instilled in her children a deep sense of ambition and public service. The Kennedy household buzzed with activity. Competition was encouraged and excellence was expected. From a young age, Jack, as he was known to his family, exhibited a sharp intellect and a charming personality. He excelled in academics, though his mischievous streak sometimes landed him in trouble. His parents harbored high aspirations for their children, and Jack, the second oldest son, was groomed for a life in politics. The Kennedy name carried weight and connections, opening doors that remained closed to others. This privileged upbringing shaped JFK's worldview and instilled in him a sense of destiny. He was taught to believe he could achieve anything he set his mind to. However, it also came with a heavy burden of expectation. Jack was constantly reminded that he was a Kennedy, and Kennedys were expected to lead. Courage under fire, war hero, and the shadow of illness. World War II would prove to be a pivotal chapter in John F. Kennedy's life. Eager to serve his country, he enlisted in the Navy despite suffering from chronic back pain, a secret he guarded closely. He became a decorated war hero for his bravery as the commander of a PT boat in the Pacific Theater. His heroism during the rescue of his crew after their boat was rammed by a Japanese destroyer cemented his image as a courageous and selfless leader. However, the war also left its mark on his health. The back injury he sustained during the PT boat incident would plague him for the rest of his life. He suffered from debilitating pain and relied on a cocktail of medications to function. This hidden struggle showcased his resilience but also hinted at a vulnerability that he kept carefully concealed from the public eye. The experience of war with its horrors and its triumphs profoundly shaped his worldview and fueled his desire to create a more peaceful and just world. The climb to power from Congressman to the White House. After the war, John F. Kennedy returned home a hero. His wartime experiences, combined with his family's political connections, propelled him into the world of politics. In 1946, he was elected to the U.S. House of Representatives, representing Massachusetts. His charisma, intelligence, and youthful energy set him apart in the halls of Congress. His rise was swift and strategic. His father, Joseph Kennedy Sr., played a key role, leveraging his wealth and influence to support his son's political ambitions. In 1952, JFK was elected to the U.S. Senate, further solidifying his national profile. He captivated audiences with his eloquence and his vision for a new frontier for America. In 1960, at the age of 43, John F. Kennedy made history by becoming the youngest elected president of the United States. His victory over Richard Nixon marked the beginning of a new era in American politics, one defined by optimism, idealism, and the promise of change. Section 5. The New Frontier: Hope, Crisis, and Triumph in the Oval Office. John F. Kennedy's presidency began with a flourish. His inaugural address, delivered on a crisp January day, resonated with millions of Americans. "Ask not what your country can do for you," he famously declared. "Ask what you can do for your country." These words encapsulated the spirit of his new frontier, a call to action that challenged Americans to embrace progress and confront the challenges of a rapidly changing world. However, Kennedy's presidency was also marked by moments of crisis and uncertainty. The Bay of Pigs invasion, an attempt to overthrow Fidel Castro's regime in Cuba, ended in disaster and cast a shadow over the early months of his administration. The Cuban Missile Crisis, a tense standoff with the Soviet Union over the placement of nuclear missiles in Cuba, brought the world to the brink of nuclear war. Kennedy's calm and resolute leadership during this crisis was critical in averting disaster. His decision to pursue a blockade of Cuba, rather than a direct military strike, demonstrated his commitment to diplomacy and his willingness to stand firm against Soviet aggression. Beyond foreign policy, John F. Kennedy recognized the urgent need for social change at home. The civil rights movement was gaining momentum, demanding an end to segregation and racial injustice. While initially cautious in his approach, Kennedy ultimately emerged as a powerful voice for equality. He delivered a landmark address to the nation on civil rights, declaring that this nation will not be fully free until all of its citizens are free. Kennedy also championed America's space program, setting a bold goal of landing a man on the moon before the end of the decade. His vision inspired a generation of scientists, engineers, and dreamers. The space race became a symbol of American ingenuity and determination, capturing the imagination of people around the world. From civil rights to space exploration, John F. Kennedy's presidency left an indelible mark on American society. He challenged the nation to embrace progress, to confront injustice, and to strive for a better future. His vision and his eloquence continue to resonate today, reminding us of the power of leadership and the importance of pursuing a just and equitable society. While John F. Kennedy projected an image of vitality and strength, behind the scenes, he grappled with personal demons and health issues. His back pain, a legacy of his wartime injuries, caused him constant agony. He relied on a regimen of medications to manage the pain, a fact kept hidden from the public. His personal life was also marked by infidelity. Rumors of extramarital affairs, whispered in hushed tones during his lifetime, have since been confirmed by historians. These revelations, while tarnishing his image, also humanize him. They remind us that even the most public figures lead private lives filled with complexities and contradictions. Despite these personal struggles, John F. Kennedy remained deeply committed to his family. His wife, Jacqueline Kennedy, was a constant source of strength and support. The Kennedy family, with their young children Caroline and John Jr., captivated the nation. They became a symbol of hope and optimism, embodying the youthful spirit of the new frontier. November 22, 1963, began like any other day. John F. Kennedy, accompanied by his wife Jacqueline, was in Dallas, Texas for a political trip. As their motorcade made its way through the streets of Dallas, gunfire erupted. 2 shots rang out, fatally wounding President Kennedy. The world watched in horror as the news of Kennedy's assassination spread. The young president, so full of promise, was gone. The nation plunged into mourning, united in grief and disbelief. The assassination of John F. Kennedy sent shockwaves across the globe. It was a stark reminder of the fragility of life and the vulnerability of even the most powerful leaders. The events surrounding Kennedy's assassination remained shrouded in mystery and controversy. While Lee Harvey Oswald was arrested for the crime, doubts and conspiracy theories persist to this day. The Warren Commission, appointed to investigate the assassination, concluded that Oswald acted alone. However, many people remain unconvinced, fueling endless speculation and debate. John F. Kennedy's legacy is a complex and multifaceted one. He is remembered as a charismatic leader who inspired a generation with his vision of a new frontier. His presidency, though tragically cut short, left an indelible mark on American society. His handling of the Cuban Missile Crisis, his support for civil rights, and his commitment to space exploration continue to shape our world today. However, Kennedy's legacy is also intertwined with controversy and unanswered questions. The circumstances surrounding his assassination continue to fuel debate and speculation. Revelations about his personal life, particularly his extramarital affairs, have tarnished his image. Despite these controversies, John F. Kennedy remains an enduring icon. His charisma, his eloquence, and his youthful energy continue to fascinate us. He represents a time of hope and optimism, a time when it seemed anything was possible. Perhaps the enduring allure of John F. Kennedy lies in the unfulfilled promise of his presidency. We are left to wonder what he might have accomplished, what challenges he might have overcome had he lived to fulfill his full potential. His life, though tragically cut short, serves as a reminder of the importance of leadership, the power of hope, and the enduring search for truth and justice.